When we were down there in Haiti, it was a very, very moving experience. Over the 10 days, we ended up flying about 30 flights, which represented about 70 hours of flying and about 18,000 miles of travel for the relief effort. And during that time, we carried between 30 and 40 people. I sort of lost track back and forth, as well as probably close to about 30,000 pounds of supplies. The supplies ranged everything from water and toys to diapers to wheelchairs to x-ray machines to just about anything that they would need either in a clinic or hospital or in the cities. Our first flight, we went down, we landed in Jacmel, which is a one of the smaller cities in Haiti, and we wanted to go into the town. And we found some local Haitians and met Pierre. And Pierre was a local guide and unemployed because there's no tourists. And so as we went through the towns, you'd see that the people were trying to really reconnect their lives, but nobody was in the buildings because either the buildings had collapsed or they were afraid they were going to collapse, and so everybody was out in the streets. As we'd walk by a building, you'd see one building looked fine, and then the next 3 or 4 would just be destroyed. Pierre would say 4 people died there, 6 people died there, 20 people died here, 8 or 10 people are still in these buildings. And you'd walk by one of the schools or technical college. They have a few small vocational schools in the Jacmel area, and that one was just totally destroyed, and 300 faculty, staff, and students lost their lives in there, and I don't even know how many people are still buried. So it was just destruction. And then you'd walk by and you see all these small tents in the streets because nobody had any place to live. Regretfully, a lot of the supplies are in Port-au-Prince, and it was very slow to get them to the smaller communities for various reasons. One, the political center of the country is Port-au-Prince, and also the transportation network, which is very poor. They're starting to get more supplies in Jacmel, some more in Lacaille, but the needs are just so enormous. I mean, we would walk into places, and even if we just had a bag of rice and distribute them into the tent cities, you know, people were still in dire straits. Just a simple thing as a tarp, as a tent, piece of plastic, anything that they could have shelter to protect themselves from the weather as well as the upcoming rains. And then I would go to visit some of the clinics, and they would be out of saline for rehydration, so they were giving their patients Gatorade, anything to rehydrate them. So bandages, diapers, soap, you name it. People were in a desperate need to have just to get back to their lives. Baikaï, which is a beautiful city, remote from Port-au-Prince. Friends told me it took them up to 8 hours to get there last week. They have over 80,000 refugees from Port-au-Prince that have come into that area, and the town normally supports maybe 8,000 people max. And so these people are living out in the open with little or no shelter and very small amounts of food. The x-ray machine that we delivered to Port-au-Prince was to Rick Bonnell, a physician who's been down in Haiti for many years. And as I was sitting there with Rick, and we were going through customs and getting all the paperwork and getting the plane fueled, he said, "Do you have something to drink?" I said, "Sure, I'll give you some water." And then he just sort of said, "Well, yeah, I had this patient a couple hours ago, and she was dying and she needed blood, and we didn't have the right blood type." He said, "So I just stuck my own arm, ran a tube from his arm down to the patient, and did an immediate drip transfusion from Rick's arm to the patient, and was able to save her life." So it was just indicative of what the people were doing down there. You're very immersed in this, not just the transportation, but when you go into the city and you see the people and you talk to them and you engage them. And we decided we just had to go back again. And this time we'll be picking up some doctors along the way in Oklahoma City. They're going to a clinic in Haiti, and then picking up some missionaries in Fort Lauderdale to take them down to the smaller cities, Jacmel and Kai, and then going to the Dominican Republic to shuttle supplies back and forth, and we'll do that for about 10 days. It was an amazing experience. I had done a little bit of relief work carrying supplies down to Baja after a hurricane last year, and it had helped in various areas over time, but never anything as intense as going down and doing this airlift and being with the people. And I think it's been an incredible experience for all the people involved. I think now the total is up to probably 150 aircraft or more who've participated in this, all volunteering their time, their airplane, their fuel, everything to move these supplies that other people have generously, contributed and needed to get down there. And I think it's important to do this. Not everybody has the opportunity at the time to be able to be involved in this level, but even the people who contribute or help in their communities, all these things, I think always can have an incredibly positive impact. At first you think that the scale is just so huge that what could one person do? And so you always had to put that in perspective. Sometimes I felt like we could never be here and do enough. But I had other people who were more seasoned workers said, everything you do helps. And so, for our students at SDSU, the opportunity either at breaks or summer or even weekends to be able to help in even their local communities or be involved in this has an incredible effect that I think can have a very positive impact on you for the rest of your life.